You're already inside the meeting when the target says something he shouldn't. The room is controlled at 21 degrees, air filtered, the low hum of ventilation filling the silence. You sit at the far end of the table, positioned to observe, not to lead. Your name isn't yours. It hasn't been for months. The man across from you pauses mid-sentence and mentions a shipment that doesn't exist on any record. No one reacts, but you register it. You always do. You didn't apply for this life. There was no offer, no decision, just years of quiet work until someone above your chain noticed. It started with small audits, harmless requests, each one measuring something you couldn't see. You passed without knowing there was a test. Then came reassignment, a facility with no name, cold steel desks, soundproof walls, and routines that leave no space for identity. You became Alpha 27. You arrived at 0540, logged in at 0555, worked in silence, processed names, patterns, networks. At first it felt administrative, then you realized you were mapping people. You didn't ask why, that was the rule. Months passed, you adapted. Promotion didn't feel like progress, it felt like reduction. Alpha 27 became Beta 09, then Gamma 02. More access, more responsibility, less identity. You were sent into the field under identities that expired every 6 months. At first you pretended, then you became them. You learned how to speak, move, exist as someone else until the original version of you felt distant. Reports replaced truth with structure. Engagement, disruption, minimal loss. Numbers replaced meaning. Years turned into cycles, observation, integration, influence, coordination. Money increased, but it had no use. Your life narrowed to execution. Relationships faded without conflict, just absence. Conversations felt inefficient. Home felt unstructured. You stopped correcting who you were becoming. You carried fragments of multiple lives and let them blend. Sleep became functional, behavior automatic, awareness constant. Then the moment returns, the meeting, the detail that slipped. You file the report with precision. Days later the outcome arrives, incident contained. No names, no decisions, just results. That's when it breaks. The system doesn't record what you did, only what remains. You were never part of the story, only a step inside it. You understand your role isn't control, it's replacement. Year 6 ends without acknowledgement. Access is removed, identity revoked. You walk out into a world that feels slow and unstructured, but the system doesn't leave you. You wake at 0430, you scan rooms, you measure risk without thinking. Somewhere, someone else logs in at 0555, sits at a steel desk and begins the same cycle. They don't know your name, they don't need to. The system continues exactly as designed.